Well, what's next? Well, it's getting exciting. It's almost playable. I know it works because I've done the testing, and yeah, it's time to put the strings on. But before we put the strings on, we're going to have another micro review. Yeah, and I'm not going to do it on this guitar. I've just got a demonstration guitar over there that we're going to do the testing on and showing you. And it's all about frets and nuts. Yeah, this is going to be fun, especially if you can't do it. So be careful. Here we go anyway. Now, once upon a time I bought half a guitar. In fact, here it is. A Harley Benton, yeah. Yeah. It's good for sawing in half, having these little bits flake off around your living room, and very little else. But it is light, you could play. However, it has another use, a use that it never thought it was going to get, and no ordinary person would ever do it. I want to take a look at these frets and show you some pieces of equipment that are designed for fixing frets, and trust me, this needs them. And nuts and things like that. So I'm going to go and get the bits now, these various little kits that I bought all off eBay, by the way. There's some good and some bad, and if it's bad you'll know it, and if it's good, well, you'll also know it. I won't spend hours showing you in depth, but I'm just going to show you what I've got and roughly how it works. Then you'll have a clue. Yeah. Okay then, well, there is a lot here to go at, but I'm just going to show you quickly. We looked at this thing earlier. Actually, I think this was in video 1. And it's designed for you to check the frets. You basically put an elastic band over there. You can see this one moves around. Actually, it's a bit better on a Gibson. On the Fender we're building, this flops around like hell, because, you know, Gibsons have got fatter frets. But this one moves a little bit. So that's a bigger one. But there wasn't really a protector for a Fender neck with the, you know, the standard sort of frets. So this one will do for this. And what you could do is you could take this and you could sort of rub down at the ends. Well, that didn't work for me. Never would. It's got its uses. It's got this little measuring gauge and things like that. You've seen the sort of thing. It isn't that good, but it's better than the one you've got. And it's better than the one I've got too. So it does have its uses. But staying on this for a minute, you could go down your local repair store, or your local store, shall I say, and get some of these, these are like regular files. Quite cheap, a few quid. And you could sit here. No, you don't want to do that. Especially if you're doing a guitar that actually has any cost at all. You could do it on this one. So that's out. I'm not into the stone, I don't think that's a good idea, but we'll keep that there for the time being. And I did see on the internet, they even sent me a free guitar pick. How nice. Oh, I can't get in it now. Let's break it open. Okay, I'm in there. This was purportedly for finishing frets. I thought, what a great idea. It's going to be cheap. And sure enough, it was cheap. Now, if you look at this close up, yeah, it's quite useful, but not that useful, because actually it's got a groove in each side, designed for in there. I don't know how you do that so easy. The idea is you do that, and it takes the edges off very nicely. I'm not so sure it's working right, because, well, it is working right. I can see it's doing it, but it's not really that good. It's not very good at all, in fact. So, yeah. I'll put a picture of that up there so you can see these grooves, and if you're like me, you'll see that really these grooves are too fat for even these Gibson frets. So I noticed it had a coloured handle, so I went digging a bit, And you can get different sizes of these, different fret sizes. So there are thinner ones or smaller ones, should I say, that can help you do these fret ends. You wouldn't really want to just do it on a guitar like that, although on a guitar like this you could, and it certainly does take it down. Yeah, and it didn't really do much harm to the guitar, not that you could. So it has its uses, but I'd give this one, when you see this on Freebay and all the rest of these places, this one comes from blackdogmusic.co.uk. He might have thinner ones. If he has, great. If he hasn't, well, nice try. I'd give this one a 3 or a 4, so that can go into the bin over there. Well, not actually the bin, but you get the idea. I couldn't really find many more things relating to fret files in the way that you might think. I did find one that's got these edges that are smooth, and I guess they let you, with the help of that, of course. But they're all a bit awkward and difficult to do, as they are. This one wasn't a cheap one either. This was a, you could use this for a fret file as well, type of thing. Not a cheap one though, and would I buy it again? No, I wouldn't, because it's very similar to an ordinary file that you could just grind the edge down to get it smooth, and then you got the same thing for about a quarter the price. As you move on with frets, you've also got all this flatting of the frets, you know, and there are tools out there to do that. Now the frets on the Strat look pretty spot on. I haven't actually checked everything yet, but I'm going to. But you can buy one of these things. This is from a company called, I think, Crimson Guitars, and it's like a, yeah, you get the idea. And it will bring your frets pretty level. So this one, actually, I do rate this one, providing you've got some idea of what you're doing and you know how to check the level of that and all that sort of stuff. I don't need to do that, but I do have the tool. It's a pretty cool tool, that one. Bought it in England, so Crimson, looks like guitars or something like that. You'll have to search for it, but fret file. Yeah, very nice. You might use it that way, who knows. But the good thing about it is it really does work. So it wouldn't take you long with that to get your frets level. Fret leveling, yeah, sounds great. Obviously the neck's an important aspect of any guitar, and as well as the edges and the fret leveling and all the rest of it, you've got this thing at the top called a nut. We all know about them. I married one. But don't worry about that. They all have different slots at the top in the nut and different sizes, and you might want to go and get one of these sets of files and go hacking away at the nut. Well, that's not really a good idea, and it's not a good idea because they're not the right size. Wrong size here, too deep, and many other things. You're going to have a major problem. So what would you use to actually get them a little bit deeper if you need to, or a little bit wider if you need to, and that sort of thing? Well, I bought this. This is called Prefox. I don't know where it came from. I think it was an eBay thing, but it came via somewhere like China. Let's take a look. As you can see inside, it's got these funny looking files. It's got, although it's a plastic one, this is nice. This is probably better than that metal one over there. Prefox string action ruler. Okay. We can figure out the string action. You get the idea. We'll show you later, don't worry. As well as that, you've got this thing in here. What's this do? That's when you go to the doctors. No, you don't. Well, if we have a look inside, what's that do? Good question. Yeah, I have no idea what that was. Yeah, we'll figure that one out some other time. But it comes in the kit, so I guess it must be okay. Yeah. But lastly, we come at these tools here. Let's pull these out so we can see what we're talking about. Throw that down. Okay, well, yeah, they are indeed files for the nut. Now then, the chances are you can't really see much about this thing here. It's a little bit whited out. I don't know. You get an idea a bit better there. You can see just about the grooves. Now I'm not going to explain how you go and set the heights or all this stuff. I'm not worried about that. I'm just showing you the tools to do it with. So this is the thin one, and this says on the handle here 1 to 4. Yeah. The second one is 5 to 2 or 2 to 5. Oh, I see. That's 1 to 4 and that's 4 to 1. I don't know why that is. This one is 2 to 5 and on this side is 5-2. There must be different sizes on the old grinding. This one's 3 to 6 and this one's 6 to 3. Okay, let's start off with as we mean to go on, 1 to 4. So that's the thinnest one there. And sure enough, you can sort of get in here. And you could if you wanted to. Yeah, do that sort of stuff. I think you could even go a bit further with any of them. But the idea is, that's one of its uses. And these things have another use too, that a lot of guys don't talk about. But when you get a Gibson bridge comes with no grooves for the strings. So you can use these on the Gibson bridge to set them little grooves for the strings. And that's what I originally bought them for. But you can use them, as I said, you can use them for this. If you get the right one, you're going to get the thinnest one, and you could do the grooves on there. Anyway, just an example. So very useful for Gibson bridges. I can tell you, when you're fitting a genuine Gibson bridge, they never have the grooves. As far as all the rest of this is concerned, with a bit of luck, if you buy a decent neck, you can have all this done. This is what we want. We don't want to be sitting around with all this stuff all day. Have you got the skill? Have I got the skill? I don't even care. I don't want to sit here doing that rubbish. But these actually, on this particular purchase, they were quite good. So pre-Fox, all good. You can get pretty cheap ones of the same gear. They vary in price quite a lot, but they do actually work. So that's why I'm saying these are pretty good. Yeah, give these about an 8 out of 10 actually, if you need to do any of this stuff. The only problem is that you rarely get to do it if you do what I do. And of course, if you own a Harley Benton, you're going to be living on this forever, aren't you? That's another story. Oh my God. So let's get rid of all this junk and move on. That's the end of the micro review of all the bits that you could do, and you could spend hours on your guitar. And if you bought the wrong one, best of luck. If you buy the Warmouth one, you won't need to. Oh, probably. If you buy a Fender one from the Stratosphere, you've seen him, thestratosphere.com. Yeah, the Fender ones, you can just bolt straight on the Fender Strat and away you go. I've done hundreds of them. Well, I say hundreds, it's not about 5. Well, where are we with this guitar? Well, I've got the strap things to fit, hold the guitar up. That's a good idea. Strap locks, indeed. And yeah, I think we're near enough ready to move forward with other bits. I could fit a plate on there. I might not. I probably will, but we'll do that later. I'll probably do it at the same time we do the strap locks. So now we're going to get the strings. We're going to fit the strings on, and we're going to start having a look at what we've got here. Yeah, so we can set it all up as I want it, not as you want it, but you'll get the idea. All looks like a plan, so hold on, let me get the necessary bits. Now then, I could have fitted 1,000 different sets of strings. Check my string review out on my channel. That's worth looking at if you can't make your mind up what strings to use. But on this one, I'm going to use these Slinky Cobalts. These are 9 to 42s, and yeah, I like these. So I'm going to do that now. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I fitted the string. Just wanted to draw your attention to the position of the 6th string and the 1st string in relationship to the neck and to the pickups. And you can see basically that they're all in line very nicely. Now I didn't have to do anything whatsoever with this guitar to have it end up like that. I just screwed the neck on basically. It keeps coming back to this issue of if you buy decent stuff you won't have any real problems, and if you don't buy decent stuff, trust me, you'll go around for months. I did once with a Chinese body and a Chinese neck. Ask Alan Bruce, he'll tell you. Now as I've said, at this point you really need to have the height right, you have to have the neck straight, you have to have the balance right, and everything else that goes with all that. And some people think that's a really difficult thing to do, and I think it's not really that difficult to do. You've just got to get things where you need them. So the first thing you want to do is tune your guitar actually up to pitch and then we can see where it floats. Now when you're tuning it up to pitch on a guitar that's never been tuned, you might find you've got to adjust these at the back to balance the actual tune, or the E, you know, the 440. Once you've got that, this thing needs to sit absolutely level, or it does when I do. I like to have this level, and then we can start looking at other things. So I'm just going to balance that up now, as I said, by adjusting the things at the back and getting the tuning right and having this level. And when you've done that, literally by adjusting those at the back, we'll come and look at anything else that we need to change with adjustments. So hold on, I'm going to go and do that. Just by bringing this somewhere up to tune, you can see almost that the bridge is near. You can tell it's near because this pulls out, and it's yeah, I'd like it a bit higher than that, so we're going to just slacken those screws off at the back just very slightly to get this more where I need it. And we'll go from there. Well, actually, there you go. Bridge is now level with the body, where I like it. It's a tad high for me, which we're going to be looking at. But actually, the guitar is in tune. Don't know whether you'll hear this. I've done no intonation on it. I've done no checking of the neck. Nothing. So I guess if you weren't too particular, you could go and play it. But it's not right for me, and I want to get a lot of different things adjusted, such as the pickups, such as the height of the E's, and so on and so forth. Yeah. So I'm going to go and take a look at that now. Hold on. Come back to this little pre-Fox string action ruler that was there before. Yeah. 1st and 6th string, electric guitar, high or low, 2.5 to 3 and 2 to 2.5. Well, that is low. Yeah. I'm going to set them on this height at about, let me look. Yeah. 3/64ths that side at the 12th fret and 5/64ths that side in inches. So I'm not into this, you know, European millimetres thing. It never worked in the first place. So 5/64ths, 3/64ths, and you can measure the thing by putting this there and looking at the height of where the string lies. It's very simple. 5/64ths you want on here, actually it's pretty near. Take it down a little bit further, have a look at that. I would say that's pretty near. As you can see around here, that the action's actually high. This is the 12th fret. So I want to come down a bit on that. And that's about right on the 3/64ths. On the 6th string, sorry, the 1st string. Well, you're down there now. I didn't pick the camera up, but don't worry about that. We're now all on the same level. Well, what else is there? Well, we've got this thing called neck relief. Yeah, I've got a bit of a bad neck sometimes, but don't worry about that. So what you do, you take one of these things here and you stuff it on your 12th fret. And you hold the strings down like that. Well, you can't see it, like that. And what you do is you go and get some feeler gauges, you know what them are. And you put them under the strings at the 8th or 9th fret. Yeah, sounds like a plan. Now on this guitar, it was about 9th thou or 10th thou at the 8th or 9th fret, which to me is about right. So I'm not really going to sit here doing that, and it's not worth the effort. Put that on the 12th fret, check it at the 8th or the 9th fret. Away you go. If it's wrong, you adjust the truss rod. Yeah. Now I could have adjusted it here. Really weirdly, this was right. You see, getting them correct parts makes things really easy, and that's what you want, isn't it? Okay, so I'm going to move on a little bit further now and look at the intonation. Yeah, that sounds fun. It's actually pretty easy. So let me rearrange this stuff and we'll have a look at that. Actually, before I go do the intonation, I'm just going to adjust these pickup heights up a little bit. There are settings for them, but I just like them to be reasonably near. So what you should have is an E that's an E, like that. See it up there. And you should have the 12th fret, another E. Do that again. Yeah, about right, just about right. See? So if there's a variation there between the open E and this closed E on the 12th fret, and don't overpress it, just enough. You can see that one's pretty accurate. Well, you'd adjust this here. So I'll just run through these now. Take the E at the 12th fret. It's up very, very slightly, but if you overpress, you get problems. So you just got to get it just so. So I would say that's very slightly sharp. Now I adjusted that that way a little bit, only a little bit, and now we've got this. As you can see, it's pretty accurate. Now I'm going to go through the rest of these, just doing the same thing. I'll be back in a moment. Now it's quite surprising really that if you look at that, it's very similar as I described it when we were building the bridge back up. And the only strings I've adjusted, I did a little bit on E and a little bit on A. And apart from that, believe it or not, you just have to believe me, the intonation's correct. And there you have it. So the intonation wasn't really that bad. Call it luck, call it what you like. I mean, I had all these off. I put them back roughly where they were, but you can basically see that two-pronged sort of location as I described before. Oh, there's one more thing I want to talk about while we're just on the subject of intonation and faffing around. I'd call this another one of those tiny little micro reviews that can make a difference to your guitar build. And you know, a lot of guys never talk about it and you never really think about it, and I've been there myself, and yeah, had a bad hand afterwards. When you've adjusted these heights of these saddles to get the right sort of bend around the neck, over the neck, because it's sort of angled like so. Sometimes they can stick up a long way, and if you've had to adjust the string heights down, they stick out a long way. There's a couple on here that are a bit, ouch. Well, there's a fix. Have a look at that up there, and you'll see these things sticking out. But I have the fix. I've been here before, and at one stage I used to grind them down. Oh, what a nightmare. You don't want to be doing any of that. You can get them. You can get replacements, and you'll see the replacements, 2 packs there. Again, up there. Yeah, anytime soon. I got mine from a company called Axbits, AXBITZ. I guess if you search the internet for him, you'll find him. But they do a number of different types. They do a standard set, where you've got some long ones and some short ones. But they also do, or supply, short ones. And it's the short ones that I went after, because you don't want these sticking in your hand. Trust me, when you get playing, it can damage your hand. It can, really. Oh, if you can't handle a bit of pain, right? But in all seriousness, this is what you want. You want these little shorter ones, and you can just screw one out at a time if it's sticking up too much. And you can screw these shorter ones in. And when you do that, perfect. Yeah. Regarding all that setup, I ended up with the bridge slightly up because I wanted a bit more, manoeuvring in it. And that's the end of that. It's all done and finished. We've only got the other couple of bits to put in there. Now you can screw up with them, so be very careful if you get to this point. And then you screw up with the strap locks, you know. You don't want to do that. I'm going to go and fit them now. I might show you, I might not, but it's not difficult. Okay, I'm back. I didn't bother show you, but you drill 2 holes. Be careful with the finish, because it can crack. And what I tend to do is to take a bigger drill than the drill you need for the hole. Just go round the edge, so it sort of countersinks the finish, so it doesn't crack, because you can get that. I've had that before on the odd guitar. I think probably number 2 or number 3, I think it was. But there you go. On this one, they seem to be perfect. And yeah, what more can you say about them? Well, actually, you can say more about them. These things vary in price quite dramatically. You've seen them. These ones are called, I like this, no ball music gear. Yeah, that's great gear. No ball guitar strap locks. They were about half the price of all the others. Claim your lifetime warranty now. Oh. Yeah, I'm not going to go through that. It's covered by a lifetime warranty against defects of workmanship and materials and all the rest of it. So there it is. They seem to work okay. Fit on quite nicely. Of course, I got the gold ones. And you press your button. Sorry, you pull your button to fit them. That's it. Very nice. That's them out of the way. Getting to the point where we're going to play it. Yeah, let's play this one. But before we do that, I've got one more micro review, and I just thought I'd cover this one. This one's called Big Ben's. Big Ben's. Comes from England. Ah. Big Ben's nut sauce, it says here. And it says, gently pull back on the plunger, draw the lubricant away and test on da-da-da-da-da. Basically, you put it on there. And you can put it down in these grooves down here, but I don't bother with them. This is the one that is useful. Of course, this guitar's got locking tuners, so it's less important, but I just thought that I'd look at this one because, yeah, it says used by professionals all over the world. Now, depends what type of professional you mean. I mean, I could use that in a number of places, but it looks as if it's good for on there. I'm not going to really test it on this one, but I'll be testing it on some of my others. My other guitars, like, I don't know, I've got a few different ones. And, yeah, I'll let you know what happens with that one. Just thought I'd mention it, just while we're in passing. There is one more thing. There's always one more thing. But this time it matters. And what it is, it's a case. Yeah, you need a case, don't you? You're not going to have this and stuff it. No, of course you're not. Let me go get the case and show you. Well, I could have had one of those, you know, light finish jobbies, you know, with the tweed on and all that, but been there and done that. Didn't think I'd want one of them. So I've got a case that's more throwable around, really, just in case I throw it around. It's exactly what you'd think it is. Fender case. Well, I've even got a receipt in here. It cost me, well, £115. That's about $145, $150 probably, maybe a bit less. And I got it from Music Store Pro. Beep, 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 beep. And their number in the UK is 01782 205 100. Yeah, friendly guys, and I'm sure they'll help you a little bit if they can. Well, you even get some locks. So I've got some gel, some locks. Fender call this the what do they call it? Pro Series Strat and Telecaster case. Fender Polyfoam Elec PVC. It's plastic. But that's okay. That's okay. I'm okay with that. Yeah, UPC 885978153116. Made in Vietnam. Well, I get the Fender logo. And here's a Fender authorised. Well, it's a Fender case. It's not an authorised case. It is a case. So, as far as I'm concerned, that's what's going in. I think I'll go put it in there. Let's see what it looks like. Well, I guess there's only one thing you can say. Perfect. And that's how yours should turn out. Like this. Absolutely perfect. And if it doesn't, well, you didn't follow the instructions, or you bought some cheap Chinese that's never going to fit, at least by you and me. And that's how you end up with a great guitar. Now we're going to play it. Okay, well, I seriously hope that you've ended up with a guitar that looks something like this. It might be a different colour and things. Doesn't really matter. But I set out to make, really, it's playing itself, one of the best Strats that I could ever make, and I think I did. Yeah, it's probably one of the best Strats I've ever made, and you know, I've made about 5. 2 of those were Telecasters, and you can see the result of this. Well, you're going to hear the result of it too. These videos have been very, very long videos, there's no doubt about that. But I've covered such a multitude of other small reviews, micro reviews, within the main guitar build review, that you could literally be coming back to these videos over and over and over again. And that was the intention, to make videos of this guitar like nobody else has ever done. And well, they're either luthiers, or they use rubbish junk, or you get the idea. Okay, we're finally at the end of the road of the incredible guitar build. There's the front and there's the back. Well, what did it cost? Well, it cost me probably about, in British pounds, about £1,600. That's probably about $1,900. It's a lot of money. But you can go and look at those others hanging on the wall that are fetching $5,000 and $6,000. And is there really any difference? Well, not really. There's not much difference, I don't think. And the net result is, with this one, I've got exactly what I want. Oh, by the way, that includes the price of the case. So you get everything you want. And yeah, exactly as it's built by you, and you have a brilliant result if you just follow the instructions, so to speak. So for that money, I think it was a brilliant buy, really, compared to some of the guitars I bought. You wouldn't believe how expensive they are. Well, you would, actually. Well, that's it. Anyway, that's the pricing of it. How would I score it? Well, I would, wouldn't I? It's a 10 out of 10. So Warmouth actually got it right. There's very little I had to do on the neck at all. I checked things and all the rest, but it just fell together. And even this bridge here, I mean, you just, with that intonation and the rest, I just screwed it back together and it just worked first go. People might not believe me, but that is how it worked. And yeah, even the wiring worked first go. Everything just fell together. Yeah. So a 10 out of 10 for Warmouth. And yeah, 10 out of 10 for the Fender bits too. I'm not sure of the pickups until we plug them in, but it would have been nice to have that extra couple of inches of wire rather than having them exactly like the ones from the 69 guitar that had a pot up here and this one didn't. I don't know, I didn't like the extra bit of wire. Anyway, there you go. Enjoy. Don't forget to go to www.turnymckenzie.com. This will be the 222nd video on my YouTube channel. The 221st is the first one where we go through absolutely masses of stuff. You don't want to miss that. That's going to be findable from up there. Go and see series 1. And yeah, I look forward to coming back one of these days and making another, but I doubt I will. I've already got too many guitars. I don't need any more. This one's probably going to be very, very hard to better. And yeah, till next time. It's been great having you guys along. Now get out of here.